It's 24 minutes after the hour, Mid-Michigan Business Wrap. Our expert panel today, Mary Stucco from Farm Bureau Insurance, George Volman, the Automotive Insider from Volman Ford, Craig Godfrey, Godfrey Weisberg, CPAs and Advisors, and Lynn Vandeventer from Coldwell Banker, Hubble Briarwood. Now, there was a situation that went on Monday night in the city of Lansing in the council chambers. Pat Gillespie, the founder of the Gillespie Group, is here with us, and Bob Tresice, the president and CEO of the Lansing Economic Development Corporation. Thank you to both of you for taking the time to come and be with us here today on the radio and with our expert panel and our crowd gathered here in the coffee house.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here. I wish it was under slightly better circumstances, but it's hard for us to understand right at the moment what is going on at our city council. They have voted against jobs and investment in the city, and we all heard it's an economic downturn. I'm not sure what people are thinking right at the moment, but not only did they turn down hundreds of jobs and hundreds of people living in our city, new people who aren't here now, but hundreds of thousands of dollars in tax revenue, but also we had $1 million grant from the DEQ. Also, we had $900,000 or so from MBT credit. So essentially, we turned down $1.9 million of state money, but that's not even all they turned down. They also turned down a brownfield plan for this project that essentially benefited the city of Lansing, in that most of the money that was going to be used in that project was going to be state money and other people's money to completely redo, hopefully, our pedway and to build a lovely little ice skating rink like big cities have in the downtown. I mean, that was all public benefit. That's what happened Monday night.
Pat, could you bring us up to date for those who might be hearing this for the first time? Exactly what happened, if you can sort of give us the little timeline.
Well, basically, you guys have been on the boats. You've been down to the City Market Bar Restaurant. You've seen the new market. That was the introduction of the project, moving a new market to the water and having people celebrate that we have a river and being on it. So the next stage, has always been to build behind it an urban village that plays off the market with housing, possibly hotels, possibly retail and office. And the site's heavily contaminated, and the city and state have tools that help you clean up the site, which are called brownfield credits and Michigan business tax credits. We went to the city and applied for those credits to say, hey, it's time to clean the site up so that we can move forward with our project. Monday night, we asked for approval of those brownfield credits, and we were denied. So we had been planning on receiving those credits so that the project could become feasible. Without those credits, it's not feasible. We have a heavily contaminated vacant parking lot on the river, and as of right now, it's going to continue to be a heavily contaminated vacant parking lot on the river because they turned down the credits that are required in order to clean up the site. So we don't really know where to go from here. There was no condition that said, hey, if you made the building smaller or greener, or if you made the parking lot smaller, or if you did something, then you have our approval. It was basically a blanket no from the four officials, and with no talk of, hey, let's get back together and work on it this week, or here's a couple of line items you need to take care of before we'll re-see it. I don't know where we go. I don't know if it gets re-seen. It could be done. So we're frustrated and confused.
Pat,
as
I have
think
a
lot
question for you. Do you think that if there's enough public pressure put on the city council that they would reconsider their position?
You had a
And
strong
so,
turnout at the
how
meeting,
do you
didn't
go
you?
about that? Because I don't think the public was aware of all this. And I know when I found out, it was like last minute, and it's just an unfortunate thing. And I'm just wondering what your thoughts are on that.
I would
you'd have a lot
like
of
to
people
think that
behind
that's
you.
the case. There was 160 plus letters and emails that went to council in favor of it, and last I heard there was 2 against it. So clearly those were either not seen or ignored or not heard. There's a lot of people at council that came and talked to council. So we've been on multiple radio programs in the last couple of days, and my email, my text, you mentioned, Michael Patrick, that your email's blown up. I haven't had anybody say, what the hell are you doing, or what the heck are you doing? That's it doesn't make sense. They're saying, why turn down $23 million? Why turn down housing on the river? Why turn down jobs in today's economy? That's all I keep hearing over and over, and I can't answer why because I wasn't told why.
Well, now, is this something that can be appealed now? I mean, can you work on that right now?
I
Go for
can't appeal
public
it.
petition?
It's up to the city council. They have 1 week to reconsider, and it's up to them to reconsider. So we've already made our application. We've got millions of dollars in property we've already bought. We have this also impacts Market or Ballpark North. I don't remember if this is the project that looks down into Oldsmobile Park. So we have a couple of millions of dollars invested in vacant industrial property that's contaminated that now we can't get brownfield credits for. So it's not just a couple buildings along the river. This is 8 buildings all along Shiawassee, Cedar, and Larch. This has bigger ripple effects than we even thought
Well,
Monday
what's
night.
Verge Bonero doing to help with this? Is he caught up in the governor race right now, or is he really actively working on this?
I've been asked that every day, and Verge is heavily engaged. He was on the phone with me during the meeting, after the meeting, yesterday. He is all in. He's pro-business. He's been pro-business, and right now, his colors are showing through. He is really working hard on it. So,
That's great.
yeah, he's all in.
Pat, let me ask you this. There are sometimes restrictions on site plan reviews after they've been rejected, a waiting period of time, maybe even a year to come back after it. Is there some of those type of restrictions here after that 1 week period where the council has a chance to change its mind?
From the best of our knowledge right now, and obviously we've had our legal minds look at it, we have a development agreement in place that says the city shall or will work with us on the brownfield agreement, and they've basically violated that by turning it down. So that's some recourse that we're looking strongly at. But I still think in order to reconsider it, they only have 1 week. And I don't think there's a city council meeting next week. So I'm not sure that it can even be, unless it's a special meeting or something. So
Can
George, I
the
don't
mayor,
know.
can the mayor call a special meeting? Because oftentimes that can happen. I don't know what the rules are.
There actually is a meeting scheduled for, it's complicated because they're on this committee of the whole city council session. The mayor Monday night he must have texted me, and I know you, Pat, and everybody else about a dozen times during the meeting. He's heavily engaged. There's even further meetings that are occurring. I don't know how he does it personally. He apparently doesn't sleep because he is heavily engaged with me every day with economic development in the city and this issue in particular. What could happen is Monday night there is a meeting and 6 council members would have to vote to reconsider the measure. You can only reconsider a measure within 1 week of when it was turned down, which was last Monday night. So we're doing everything we can to bring it together. I just feel very bad for everyone in the city. There is a true uprising in the city. It is incredible. I guess to be corny about it, it is a representative democracy, and people can voice their opinion, and sometimes it actually does matter. And Carol Wood, Brian Jeffries, Eric Hewitt, Derek Quinney are perhaps 4 council members that, while they've definitely voted no in this project, we're not sure why. I think people should call them and express their opinion, one way or the other. How about that? But the city had tremendous momentum. Something magical is happening in the city. I've lived here 45 years, and you've all been around. Something incredible is happening in this city, different from the last 50 years. The last 5 years under the mayor and people like Pat Gillespie, all of you here at this table, Michael Patrick, your ambassadorship for us, and everybody. Something incredible is happening here.
There must be reasons why they voted no. Did they share those reasons with you?
Well, I mean, maybe Pat can talk to that.
The no reasons were given. They didn't give us an exact reason, but there's an underlying theme that's, it's no hidden element. It is the use of a project labor agreement. It was brought up last Wednesday. They basically said we'd like to approve your plan as long as it has 100% project labor, which is union labor. And I look at them and I said I would love to do that if I could. In fact, it's utilized greatly at the Accident Fund, Michigan State buildings, Sparrow Hospital buildings, State Police buildings. But I'm trying to build residential housing on the water. Very few of you look around your neighborhood and see homes that are built by union labor. There's a different workforce that builds residential housing. I want to build residential housing on the river. I think everyone here will look at each other and say, we don't need any more parking decks on the river. We don't need any more state office buildings on the river. We need people. We need them at night. We need them on weekends. We need them all the time. That's what I want to build. So I can't say, hey, I'd like to do it. Let's do it. That's not it. It can't feasibly be done with a project labor agreement. I have thrown out opportunities to say, hey, let's work together and do a percentage. I can guarantee a percentage because some subcontractors will work. I've had 17 meetings, actually 18 meetings, stating that, coming up with solutions. At each time I've been told, if it's not 100% PLA, we are not interested in doing the job. We'd rather see the jobs not happen than only have a percentage of them.
100% union labor.
Yes, sir.
And they would have given you the go.
Yes, but the project cannot make sense. You can't build residential housing like that. I have yet to find one that's gone on.
Too expensive.
Too expensive.
Well, I don't know whether they would have given you approval or not, because just to be literal about it, Monday night, we're only making that assumption because literally Monday night there was no PLA attached to this. What happened Monday night is they simply voted no on a series of appropriate incentives that would have allowed for job creation and private investment in the city. They voted no on our centerpiece to the city's revitalization. It's our urban village. It's why many of these businesses are down here between the accident fund building, the river trail that we built, and now the third piece was this urban village. We're filling in the pieces of the city, and so many businesses have already counted on that occurring and are down here now.
Sure.
And you know, how do we move forward is the real puzzle. You know, Pat owns the property. We signed a development agreement 2 years ago. This city council unanimously signed that development agreement saying this is what we're going to do. You all have made decisions based on that development agreement, including Pat, and especially Pat.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I wanted to ask, Pat, is you've done some great development here in the city of Lansing, and kudos to you. We thank you very much. And so this is a longer range plan than just obviously the last couple of weeks.
We'll
Can
get
you
the
kind of
answer in
summarize?
4 minutes when we come back on that part,
Sounds
because
good.
there wouldn't be a new city market were it not for your original cluster plan, right?
It was not meant to be a standalone market. It was
That's
meant
right.
to mix in with the urban village, yes.
Stand by in 4 minutes, and Byron and Potterville will get your call too. It's Michael Patrick Shields, the Mid-Michigan Business Wrap.